In a garage, Charlie is busy fixing a plane that his wife, Sarah, gave him as a birthday gift. Just as his hand is on a screwdriver, Sarah walks in and says she's about to leave for a business conference in London. She invites Charlie to join her again, but he declines with a worried look, caught up in work. A few moments later, Charlie arrives at CIA headquarters. On his way to the decryption and analysis department, he passes through security scanners he invented himself and finally reaches his desk. Suddenly, he receives a message from Inquilin, a mysterious contact he has been connected with for years. As usual, Inquilin has valuable classified information for sale, but this time warns that the documents could put the CIA at risk. Charlie tries to guess where the intel is from, suggesting Istanbul, but Inquilin dismisses the guess. Charlie begins analyzing the data, but even as a genius, he cannot crack the code. After lunch, Charlie returns to his office and answers Sarah's call. She says she's arrived in London, but Charlie already knew since he's been tracking her. The conversation is brief because Charlie impatiently wants to return to the mysterious documents. However, the codes still won't open. He takes his laptop to a secure facility with a more advanced system. After hours of effort, the encryption finally breaks, and the information is so shocking it takes his breath away. The documents are ultra-secret government files revealing that a drone strike, disguised as a self-deleting bombing, was authorized and then covered up. News clips report the death of 150 people, including French Special Forces and Danish Marines. All the operation was organized by Charlie's boss, Moore. That night, Charlie tries calling Sarah but gets no answer. He leaves a message and the next day is surprised to find Moore waiting for him at the office. Moore takes Charlie to meet O'Brien, the new director, who informs him about a terrorist attack at a London hotel and says Sarah was one of the victims. Charlie refuses to believe it and tries to call Sarah himself, but Moore turns on the TV, showing footage and news of the terrorist assault. 4 attackers entering the hotel, taking 4 hostages, and killing 2 people. Security camera footage shows chaos and confirms Sarah's presence among the victims. When Charlie arrives home, numerous reporters wait outside for interviews, and police block entry. A friend helps him get inside unnoticed. The next day, Charlie stands before Moore and Supervisor Caleb full of doubt. He doesn't believe terrorists could have passed thousands of London security cameras and even driven through traffic. Moore promises an investigation, but Caleb sends Charlie home. The next day, Charlie goes to the airport to pick up Sarah's body and belongings. At home, while looking at her suitcase, he finds a gift Sarah bought for him and breaks down. Tired of staying home, he returns to work. Using the hotel's secure computer, he hacks the hotel and surrounding streets, piecing together the timeline of events and presenting it to his superiors. The 4 terrorists first steal a vehicle in the east of the city, then enter the hotel through service entrances, expertly wiping their prints and DNA. Apparently, there was a meeting scheduled with an Indonesian company called Impact Investment, but a dispute arose, and one of the company's guards became angry and started shooting. One guard was killed, another severely injured. Hotel security quickly responded and police were called. The terrorists, to escape, entered the conference hall and took hostages. Sarah was captured while trying to help people escape. By analyzing audio and video, Charlie identifies the 4 terrorists: Mishka from Moscow, Lawrence from South African Special Forces, mercenary Horst, and former intelligence officer Gretchen. Seeing Moore and Caleb's reactions, he realizes they knew everything. They say they're working on it, but send Charlie for psychological counseling. The next day, Charlie hides a chip inside his ID card and passes security scanners unnoticed. In his office, he prints all secret files and uses a device connected to the printer to digitally copy them. At night, he goes to a bar and stares at the jukebox. The next morning, he visits his bosses with the printed documents, revealing all of Moore's Black Ops missions, like bombing a Syrian hospital and attacking a Yemeni base, killing thousands of civilians. He threatens that if he doesn't enter the password every 5 hours, the files will be leaked to major media. In exchange for silence, he demands full CIA training, fake passports, cash, a gun, and information about Sarah's killers. After the meeting, his stress makes him vomit. Moore calls the threat a bluff, but Caleb insists they can't take the risk and will kill him if necessary during training. Later, Caleb and his team search for how Charlie copied the files, suspecting the printer and magnetic tape. They watch security footage and see Charlie bought a magnetic tape but don't know how he inserted or removed it. They search Charlie's house and notice he visited a particular bar twice. At the bar, they find an ABBA CD under the jukebox. Caleb plays it, but only noise is heard, so they take the CD. Charlie goes to the CIA training center and is greeted by Colonel Henderson. His shooting is weak and he must get closer to the target, but his speed and skill in bomb making are amazing. Henderson pushes and distracts Charlie, forcing him to memorize his new identity even under stress. New passports are prepared. At night, Henderson visits Charlie's room, saying he's not a killer, but Charlie insists on seeking justice. Henderson pulls out a gun and asks Charlie to aim at his chest, but Charlie's hands shake and he lowers the weapon. At headquarters, agents decrypt the CD data for hours and discover the dead man's switch is fake. Unaware that Charlie is eavesdropping, they immediately notify their bosses. The chip Charlie hid in his card is actually a bugging device. Moore orders Henderson to arrest Charlie, but he's already gone. After cutting the call, Moore sees the chip and calls Charlie a traitor. Charlie puts down the walkie-talkie and boards a plane. Upon arriving in London, he passes customs and heads to Paris. His fake passport is registered in the CIA system, and Moore sends Henderson to pursue him. In Paris, Charlie stays near a hotel close to the restaurant Gretchen visits. When Gretchen arrives, Charlie starts tracking her phone. He stays outside her apartment for days, and when she leaves, he uses online footage to unlock her door. Charlie searches the apartment and finds Gretchen's daily schedule. He discovers a gun in a drawer and decides to keep it. When Gretchen returns, he cannot shoot and lowers the weapon. He returns to the hotel pretending Sarah is waiting for him. Examining photos more closely, he realizes Gretchen visits hospitals often. By hacking her medical records, he finds she has allergies. The next morning, Charlie waits with a bouquet of flowers for Gretchen at a cafe and follows her to the hospital. Gretchen is being tested, but the doctor discovers a computer problem and leaves. Charlie dresses as a doctor and traps Gretchen in the testing machine. She panics, but Charlie fills the chamber with pollen. The doctor and nurse hear unusual sounds, but the machine is locked. Gretchen weakens due to allergies, and Charlie promises to help if she reveals Horst's location. Gretchen attacks him, pulls a gun, and escapes. Charlie chases her, but she is hit by a car. Frightened, Charlie approaches, grabs her phone, and flees. At the hotel, Charlie cleans up the blood and quickly packs his things. He buys a bus ticket to Marseille. News of Gretchen's death reaches the CIA. O'Brien asks more about it, and he replies it seems she was one of their own. That night, Charlie drinks at a bar trying to forget guilt. He sees a dancing woman who looks like Sarah, but when he approaches, it's someone else. Then Henderson appears, and Charlie escapes, locking himself in the bathroom. With no escape, he confronts Henderson. Showing a counter on his phone, Charlie escapes just before an explosion. Chaos ensues, and Henderson loses him. The next morning, Charlie contacts Inquilin and heads to Turkey. In Istanbul, he goes to a restaurant and messages Inquilin. A man's phone rings, and Charlie tries to approach, but a woman stops him and tells him to check his phone. The woman is Inquilin herself. She knows about Sarah and wants Charlie to stay hidden. They go to Inquilin's home, where she tells him about her husband's death. He was the first Inquilin and taught her everything. She says if the Russians find her, she'll eliminate herself. They discuss the case. Horst leads the mercenaries, Lawrence sells weapons, and Mishka travels a lot posting photos. They find a woman with Mishka in Spain. Caleb orders his team to watch the terrorists. O'Brien tells Moore she must stop rogue operations without his permission, but Moore says she has his full support. O'Brien then assigns an agent to follow Henderson. Charlie and Inquilin hack hotel cameras and find Mishka. Charlie goes to Madrid and stays near a hotel. Mishka enjoys swimming in the rooftop pool. Henderson is also after Charlie. Charlie builds a device and hides it in the hotel. When Mishka goes to the pool, Charlie threatens to destroy it if Mishka doesn't talk. Mishka swims, but the glass cracks, the pool breaks, and Mishka falls to his death. Inquilin warns that Henderson and another agent are near. A chase ensues. Agents fight in the laundry room and shoot. Charlie tries to help, but Inquilin tells him to run. O'Brien brings Moore to her office and questions him about Charlie. Moore says Charlie took medical leave. Caleb and his team watch hotel footage and realize Charlie had help. They find Inquilin's encrypted messages and suspect the original Inquilin died, and now the woman replaced her. At night, Charlie and Inquilin sleep side by side, but are woken by Inquilin's birds and see agents approaching. They escape through a secret tunnel. During their escape, a drone chases them. They return to Inquilin's house, but agents raid it and erase all data. They flee to the beach, but agents keep pursuing and reach a boat. Inquilin is wounded, and Charlie takes control of the vehicle to escape. After a long run, the vehicle stops and Inquilin dies. Charlie kisses her and says goodbye. The next day, Charlie calls Lawrence, posing as a weapons dealer. Then he goes to Romania. In an abandoned building, he records his face and hacks Berlin security to make CIA think he is there. When Lawrence arrives, a phone rings on a chair. Charlie tells Lawrence to look inside a box. Lawrence sees bombs that will explode if he moves. A photo of Sarah is inside the box. Charlie appears behind Lawrence and asks where Horst is. Lawrence says Horst operates in Russian waters and usually picks up deliveries at the Baltic port. The phone has numbers and names, then Lawrence throws it away. Charlie picks up the phone and leaves as bombs explode, killing Lawrence. News of Lawrence's death in Romania reaches CIA and they realize the footage was fake. At a Russian hotel, Charlie imagines Sarah and opens her gift. It's a puzzle he quickly solves and finds a sweet message from her. In the morning, he goes to the harbor and sees a suspicious car. He sends a code to Horst's men, and a man next to the car checks his phone. Charlie follows him and takes pictures of the boat. He buys gear and returns to the hotel, finding the boat by its registration number. He studies possible sea routes for Horst. The next morning, he approaches the boat but is knocked out from behind, dropping Sarah's puzzle. They take him aboard, and he finally faces Horst, who finds Charlie's hidden bomb. Horst says Charlie is not the type to kill directly. He gives him a gun and wants him to kill Horst himself. Charlie can't, and puts the gun aside. The boat suddenly changes course, and the crew panics. Charlie reveals he controls the boat remotely through CIA systems he designed and steers it to Finland. The boat is surrounded by Finnish Navy and Interpol, and Horst and his crew are arrested. Later, O'Brien announces at a press conference that all corrupt CIA agents exploiting resources have been arrested. Henderson tells Charlie he's proud of him. After visiting Sarah's grave, Charlie returns home and finally boards the plane to fly. Thanks for watching Vision Movie Recap. If you liked it, hit like, drop a comment, and subscribe for more. See you in the next one.